Hey y'all, welcome to Black is She podcast, the conversation. So I said I would be posting part 2 of the Judgment series here, and I am, and this is going to be concerning more so how judgment within the church leads to church hurt, which is what ultimately causes some people to stray away from Christ and to stray away from the church, and it just has to stop. So, and I'm going to be speaking on my own personal experience because I can definitely relate, but, I don't really care about what people say, to be honest. As long as I've talked to God and I've had this conversation with him, that's the only okay that I need and the only approval that I need. So when it comes to somebody else's opinion, now, at this point in my life, at the age of 32, now I know better. But, everyone, there's a lot of people that's probably still struggling with how to deal with church hurt from many years ago, and maybe somebody is probably struggling with dealing with it currently due to something that may have happened like a month ago or weeks ago. And so that's what I'm just here to talk about on part 2. So I remember, as for me, when I was walking out of church one day, I guess the attire that I had on wasn't pleasing or approved by the two church women that were walking behind me or whatever. And it's not necessarily that it was something that I was wearing that was distasteful or revealing, because I'm very conservative anyways. That's just how I was raised. So I feel like I like to be sexy and I like to feel sexy, but it's a way that I do it. But it wasn't nothing in regards to that on this particular day. It was based on like the weather, I guess, and the season that we were in. It didn't quite align with what I had on at the time or whatever, according to them. And I'm like, we are fresh out of church. You haven't even stepped your second foot out of church yet. Like, you barely just had one foot out and you are already gossiping. Like, this is what people are talking about when they say judgment in the church house and hypocrites and this, that, and the third. And it's a real thing. And I'm like, and I turned around to them like, are you kidding me? You know what? They were lucky that I was changing my ways, because this mouthpiece used to be something vital, and it can still be. And then when they say that a woman's mouth can cut, like, it can. So and that's obvious based on how they were treating me, and y'all are in y'all early 50s, late 40s, acting very juvenile, acting like children and very childlike. So I was just like, what, are you kidding me? Like, look at y'all and look at me. And that's not on any type of level of arrogance or anything like that, but it's like, that's probably why you had something to say in what you said, because you're not even happy with yourself. You're not happy with yourself. So it's just like, what? But even with that just small encounter, that could have completely affected me in a certain way. And it's obviously something that I do think about every now and then, for me to sit up there and have a whole conversation about it, just so people can understand and relate to ignorance in the church. Everyone experiences it. But for me, I just didn't let it get to me to the point where I strayed away from God or strayed away from the church house. For what? I just don't feel like we should do that, because you give them the power. The power lies in their hands when you stray away from church, and here they are popping up every Sunday like they're the saints of all saints. So I just didn't let it get to me in that manner of way. I could have. And like I said, it does cross my mind, but I kind of laugh it off now. I just told my mama about it probably like 2 years ago that even happened, because it's just like, why give it power? Like, yeah, the thought can cross your mind, but don't let it get you to the point where you kind of just shut down just on the thought of what happened, So I'm just saying that to say, don't let the ignorance of some people stray you away from good people within the church, because we are still there. We are still here. We are still truly doing God's work. We are not ignorant like some of the people in the church house, because there are some very ignorant people. And I will agree. Like I said, I just told y'all what happened to me. And so, and once again, I do a lot of apologies, because it's necessary and it's needed for us as a collective in the African American community, the Black community, the Black culture, for us to start to heal and to recognize that everybody is not out to get you. Everybody's not out to harm you. That's in the church house. We're not all the same. And that's what I'm really here to do, is to stress that, because we're not, and I do apologize on behalf of people who are supposed to have been, who were, you were taught that they were trustworthy people within the church, and that you were taught that because he's a pastor or because he's a deacon or because he's an usher or whatever, that they're trustworthy. But yet here they did something that affected you or betrayed your trust as a child. And oh my gosh, I really apologize for that, because that was not Christ-like. That was them operating off of flesh and flesh alone. That was nothing Christ-like about it. That was nothing that a representative of Christ would do. Absolutely nothing. That is the complete opposite of what Christ represents and who he is and what he's about. And I just pray and I ask that y'all take control over y'all lives. Don't let those people who harmed you or who betrayed you or who took your innocence, don't let them control you. Gain that back, and you can gain it back by forgiveness. Not necessarily, well, yes, necessarily forgiving them. It is necessary that you forgive them, and that it is. And then I know it's kind of hard because people say it all the time, like, forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. And it's easy to say, yeah, right, that doesn't even make sense. But it truly is for you, you guys. It truly is for you, ladies and gentlemen, whoever may have been hurt some kind of way by people or peers inside of the church. Oh my gosh, this forgiveness is truly for you, y'all. I can't even stress it enough. It is. And once you truly forgive and you release, you will see exactly. I can't explain it. It's an unexplainable feeling. It's something that you truly have to experience for yourself, and you can't do it unless you truly forgive, unless you are willing to truly forgive. That's the only way that you're going to feel. It's a feeling. It's like a breath of fresh air. It's like 10 weights being lifted off your shoulder all at once. And it's such an amazing feeling. And that's just in life in general. But especially staying on the topic of church hurt, please forgive these people. And forgive you for feeling guilty, that like it was your fault that this happened to you. Forgive yourself for feeling that it was your fault, because it wasn't. Understand your feelings. Trust your feelings. Let them flow. Feel them. However long it may take you, a year, 2 years, even more than that. Go through those feelings, but don't let them control you. Don't let those emotions overcome you. Eventually, you're going to have to release them. Release them. Live in your truth. Be honest. Testify. That's another way of healing. Testify. Share your stories. But don't let those people continuously have control over your life and where God is trying to get you to go, because you won't let go. So once again, you all, I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in with your girl. Whenever I post something, if these messages reach you, feel free to subscribe, comment respectfully. I'm all about agreeing to disagree. Like I said, as long as we do it with tact and respect, I'm all here for it. We're human. We're not always going to agree 100% on everything, and that's perfectly fine. But once again, I thank you all for tuning in with your girl, and we're going to have more conversations like this. Like I said before, we're going to laugh, we're going to cry, we're going to smile, we're going to frown probably, but we're all in this thing together. It's just life. We're taking it one day at a time, just trying to spread the gospel and spread who God truly is and what he truly represents and what he's truly about, not what people are trying to rub him off as being, because that's not who he is at all, and what he is and what he represents. So once again, y'all, love you. Mucho, mucho, much love. And until next time, love y'all. Bye.